Wow! 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 Wow!
I'll just briefly present the mTable, that is the first piece over there, because this for us has been in 2002, so rather in the beginning, sort of a piece. This was not research, this was a research, a project that didn't have a client, that it didn't make any sense. But as architect, you do things like this in order to sharpen your arguments and find out what it's all about and so on. Or you do competitions, for example, And mTable was about finding out how this brand new world that at this time was symbolized by this smartphone, this Nokia that is over there. I don't know if you have seen it. So it looks like 200 years old, and it's only 15-year-old, so it's nothing. And this phone was basically programmable, and you could write apps for it. So it's very similar as what our smartphones are able to do now. Only they didn't know that they had the apps back then, the Nokia. But with this app that we wrote, you could delegate the task and also the responsibility of designing a piece of furniture that for us was a piece of architecture to the end user. And then the technical process would, out of this data, almost seamlessly and automatically produce the table. So from data to material in a straight forward way without any modification in between, any double checks, any professional intervention, what is normally the case. So this is how it looked like on one side, and the other side, then the data was transferred, you had this platform, you could order your data. And in 2002, this was the time when mass customization, so this term came up in industry, and a lot of companies, I remember USM Halle, but also Nike and many others were sort of working on configurators that would allow the end user to choose all these things, color and whatever properties. And we said, nice, we do this, but we decide to intervene at the level of shape. What is the sort of the lowest level? And here you see how the interface worked. You could basically place pressure points on a surface, apply pressure, deform a surface, and where this surface would cut the other surface, holes would, just by this geometric operation of intersection, holes will be generated. So super simple design principle, a game that would then generate a super minimal amount of information. This is the parameters, which are human readable. And with this parameter, this information, knowing the rules of the game, we could generate this very complex surface. And with this data, again, translating it into fabrication commands, we could, with a CNC mill, generate this highly sophisticated, complex, and high-resolution central surface into wood. And then get out this piece of material that is both extremely elegant, but also extremely questionable, because it says, okay, you are the designer, You know, I give you freedom to do whatever you want. You can even do holes, what is probably the worst thing you can do to a table, you know, because you're undermining its function. You know, so it's about this irresponsibility issue, you know, control issue. At the same time, the objects are beautiful, but, and this then was the, I mean, in this rather ironic project, it is also a bit looking for the limits of this euphoric mood back then. If you look at this, the message is good for the designer, because these tables here, and it's just a small selection of non-built tables. We built only 10 because you have to imagine this is the expensive stuff in the end. But these tables, if you look at them, some of them are working or more functional than others. Some of them are extremely beautiful, some of them are extremely ugly, but it doesn't matter at all. They all look the same. You know, there is this similarity that shows how dominant the design is in the end. So what we did is we gave away the shape, what is a provocation to designers still now, but back then this was the, you know. And at the same time we claim that if we move the design to the next level, that is the logical level, the level of the rules, then we don't lose any control, you know. And that this fear that in our and the other design professions is very dominant, of losing control, of becoming insignificant just because everything would be okay and everything would be possible in this new world, doesn't have to be like this. It's us controlling it. It's our attitude towards technology, it's our attitude towards, or our understanding of design, that then decides if it's really anything goes or if it's something very much controlled, that where we are still in control of things.